Hi, my name's Alona Carrisforth and I'd like to thank you for watching this video today. I'm an IELTS tutor and I've been teaching English to overseas students for over 16 years, and today I'd like to talk about the IELTS speaking test. In particular, I'd like to talk about pronunciation for the IELTS speaking test. And as you can see from the title, this is part 3 of my series on pronunciation for the IELTS speaking test. I've already made 2 videos. In the previous videos I've talked about these 2 points more thoroughly. That is, the basic areas of pronunciation that the IELTS examiner will look for, and features of pronunciation. What is good pronunciation made up of? It might surprise you. It's not just about accent, as a lot of people think. In this video I'd like to talk further about the phonetics and phonology of British English. In particular, I'd like to look at consonant sounds and how they are pronounced in British English. Now, you can download the British phonemic chart from bestieltsonline.com. It's in the link section in the bottom right hand corner. So there are 3 things we need to consider when we're thinking about how to pronounce consonants. We need to think about the manner and place of articulation, and that basically means how do we make that sound, and where, with which parts of the mouth do we use to make that sound. The lips, the teeth, the tongue, the nasal passage. Okay, that's not really the mouth, but the back of the nose, or the jaw. We've also got to think about the vibration of the vocal cords. Now, when you're producing a consonant sound, if you put your fingers on either side of your throat, you'll feel vibration or not. There are 24 consonant sounds in British English. 16 of these sounds make the vocal cords vibrate when you pronounce them, and these are known as voiced sounds. And 8 of these sounds don't make the vocal cords vibrate, and these are known as unvoiced sounds or voiceless. Finally, we've got to think about airflow. How much air do we produce when we make the sound? So if you hold a piece of paper in front of your mouth, does it move when you make the consonant sound? We always produce more air with the 8 unvoiced consonants. Now, as I've said, there are 24 consonant sounds in British English. That's too many to do in one video, overwhelming for you. So I've decided to make 3 videos. I'm going to do 8 sounds in each. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is p, 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 as in pencil. Okay, now when I produce this sound p, I use both my lips and they're tightly together. There is a stopping of the air. So as I'm producing p, my lips close tightly to stop the air coming up from my throat. Then there's a kind of explosion and a release of the air. So both lips tightly together, p, and then release that air. P is unvoiced. It won't make I won't feel anything if I feel my vocal cords. It doesn't make them vibrate. And there's very strong airflow with p. So if I hold the piece of paper in front of my mouth, it will really move when I produce this sound, p. Okay, the next sound I'd like to look at, I think is a cousin of p. It's b, b. It's produced in a very similar way to p. So the lips are tightly together, stopping the flow of air, and then there's a kind of explosion and a release of the air. This time it's voiced. So if I put my fingers to my throat, I'll feel the vibration of the vocal cords. And there's hardly any airflow. So if I hold the paper in front of my mouth, won't see much movement, if at all. Okay. The next sound I'd like to look at is t, 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 as in ticket. So we've got p for pencil, b for banana, t for ticket. Now, in a similar way, there's an explosion of air, sort of a stopping of the air and then an explosion. But t, the mouth does different things to produce this sound. Okay, I want you to think about your teeth for a moment and think about your upper teeth. Now, behind your upper teeth, there is a ridge, a hard ridge. Okay, so put your finger in, feel it? Can you feel that hard ridge behind your teeth? Basically, when I produce the sound t, my tongue contacts this ridge. Okay, t. So it will actually touch the ridge there. Now, t is an unvoiced consonant, no vibration of the vocal cords, and there's strong airflow. It's going to make my paper move. And then we look at the cousin of the sound, which is d, 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 as in door. So d is produced in the same way as t. Again, there's the air is stopped and then there's an explosion of air. The tongue is on the ridge just behind the upper teeth. This time it's voiced, so if I put my fingers to my throat, I'll feel the vibration of the vocal cords. Hardly any airflow. It's not going to make my paper move. Okay, the next sound is ch, 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 as in choose, choose, choose. Okay, this time the air is stopped. There's an explosion of air, but then there's also some friction in the mouth. So, for example, when I produce p, it's just all released and nothing's touching in my mouth. When I produce ch, I can feel some friction, ch, with my tongue in my mouth. Now, the tongue is slightly further back, so it's still touching that ridge behind your upper teeth, but slightly further back than, say, when you produce t, ch. Slightly further back, but still touching the ridge. Okay, it's unvoiced, so no vibration of the vocal cords. There's a strong flow of air. It's going to make my paper move. And the next one, very similar sound, is j, 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 as in jeans. Now, j is produced in the same way as ch, so the air is stopped. There's an explosion of air and then some friction in the mouth. The tongue is touching the ridge behind the upper teeth, but slightly further back than, say, d, but it's still touching that ridge. This time it's voiced, so it will make my vocal cords vibrate, and there's hardly any airflow, so it wouldn't make my piece of paper move. Okay, the next sound is k, 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 as in cow, k, k, k. Now with k, there's an explosion of air, k, but it's actually the back of the mouth. Now, my tongue is touching the top of the mouth, but at the back. So it's not touching the front of the mouth as we've had in t and d. Now with p and b, you know, it's all been all about the lips. With k, it's still about the tongue and the back of the mouth, and the tongue and the roof of the top of the mouth, but this time the tongue is touching the top of the mouth at the back of the mouth. So it's kind of a weird sensation when you're producing this sound. K, k. Okay, k is unvoiced. There's no vibration of the vocal cords, and there's a strong flow of air. It will make my piece of paper move. Finally, for this video, we've got g, 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 as in girl. Okay, g is produced in the same way as k, so there is an explosion of air. The tongue is touching the palate, the top of the mouth, at the back of the mouth. This time it's voiced, so it will make my vocal cords vibrate. If I touch my throat, I can feel them. And there's hardly any airflow. Okay, that's all for today. So we've just got these 8 sounds. So go back and listen to them one by one. Watch yourself in the mirror. Think about what your mouth's doing. Maybe record yourself, see how similar your sound is to what I'm producing here. If you've got friends who are native speakers, ask them to comment on how you're producing these sounds. And in the next 2 videos, I'll be producing, showing you how to pronounce the other consonants. So the next video I'll be doing 8 sounds, and the video after that, the final 8 consonant sounds. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful, and all the very best of luck for your IELTS test. Bye.